Ken Lundberg. This is the video live stream edition, and my special guest this morning is Dennis Szymanski. I get that right?
You did. I've heard many iterations of the pronunciation of my name, S-Z-Y-M. That confounds so many people.
What's the background on the name?
It's Polish.
Okay.
Polish was my first language. I'm the product of an inner city Detroit blue-collar family.
Yeah.
My dad had an 8th grade education, was a meat cutter at A&P.
Okay.
Mom was a waitress. Polish, my first language. We live with my grandparents.
Yeah. Why is Polish your first language?
My grandparents all immigrated from Poland.
Okay.
And we lived with them for a good number of years, and that's all they spoke.
Yeah.
The only words they knew were streetcar and bus of English.
Yeah.
And so we had to confer and talk with Polish all the time. Then I learned English when I went to a Polish grade school in Detroit.
Okay.
Polish literature, language, religion, songs, and the list went on.
Everything. Yeah.
And so I learned a lot from the Polish nuns that taught me.
When did you become fluent in English then?
Probably by the age of 7 or 8, as kids pick up language so easily when they're young. And so English became my primary language ever since.
Okay. All right. Well, hopefully we can dig into your background. Dennis Szymanski is president of the Berrien County Woodworkers Guild, and I'm fascinated already. When did you come over to Southwest Michigan?
We moved here in 1983 from Kansas City. Came with my wife and 3 kids. It's been a wonderful place to live, practice, as I am a physician, raise kids, a wonderful area. And at the time, we had a working airport, so we could go anywhere in the world from our backyard. It was wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah, that's beautiful. And so does much of your family still live here?
Oh, no, not at all.
Okay.
I've got a daughter that lives locally. Her name is Kathleen. She's a nurse, got her degree from University of Michigan. Go Blue.
Yeah.
Got her doctorate in nursing, was director of nursing at Lake Michigan College for years, till she stepped down to get her doctorate. Worked in our emergency room 9 years straight, and still does 1 weekend a month in our emergency room too.
Yeah.
So she's the only one living locally. I've got no family left in Detroit at all.
Okay.
My son lives in Highland Park, Illinois. My daughter lives in Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina.
Okay. They spread out. And the topic for the hour that you reached out to me, although we'll cover a whole bunch of different topics, I hope, is the Berrien County Woodworkers Guild. When did you join that?
I think it was probably about 2005. They came about in 1995, a bunch of woodworkers locally, both professional and hobbyists like myself and the rest of the organization currently. And then it tweaked my appetite since I was doing woodworking prior to that time, but it became an organization. I says, hey, I want to join. And that's so typical of that era. People joined various organizations.
Yeah.
And it's a difficult thing nowadays that people don't join organizations. They're too busy, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're talking with Dennis Szymanski. He is the president of the Berrien County Woodworkers Guild, and so much more. And we're going to explore that background here in just a moment, if you'll let us, on the WSJM Morning Show. So thanks for tuning in. We'll have local news coming up in just a moment right here on WSJM Sports as well.
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Maxed out cards, rent is due. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
Maybe we should go to 27cash.com.
With our bad credit,
27cash.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
WSJM News now. Team coverage from the WSJM newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
It's 7:05. It's the WSJM Morning Show for your Tuesday, October 21st. Good morning. I'm Ken Lundberg. We have a special guest in studio who we'll be talking with this hour, Dennis Szymanski. He is the president of the Berrien County Woodworkers Guild. And as we started the conversation on the video live stream, which you can watch on YouTube or on Facebook or on the WSJM app, smart app, it's going to be an interesting hour, I think, because Dennis hails from Detroit originally, correct?
Yes.
And then you made your way around the country and decided to come right back here to Southwest Michigan, and we're blessed to have you here. So thank you, and thank you for sharing the information about the Berrien County Woodworkers Guild, which we'll do this hour. If you're a woodworker, whether you're a professional or a hobbyist or anything in between, the Woodworkers Guild wants to hear from you. And they've got a great website. I've already checked it out. So we'll talk about those things and more in just a few moments here on the WSJM Morning Show. First, we have to get a quick look at the weather forecast and then some news from our WSJM newsroom. Today's forecast does call for a 60% chance of rain showers, mainly this afternoon. Breezy conditions are going to persist. West winds probably gusting to 30 miles per hour. A high today around 57 degrees, although it won't feel like that with the wind. Tonight's forecast, cloudy skies, 70% chance of showers this evening, so a very good chance of rain. Breezy conditions will persist. The low overnight getting down to around 44 degrees. Wednesday's forecast, partly sunny, a 40% chance of lake effect rain into the picture, and a high tomorrow around 50. As we look forward to Thursday, partly sunny skies, still a chance of lake effect rain on Thursday, a low around 43 degrees and a high around 50. Friday is supposed to be just partly sunny and a high around 57 before we move into the weekend, where we're going to have more rain chances on Saturday and Sunday. Some of the news from the WSJM newsroom. The Palisades Nuclear Power Plant has received its first delivery of fuel since 2022 as work to restart the facility is moving forward. Holtec International's Nick Kolb says the shipment marks a major milestone in the historic restart effort.
This is the first time that a shuttered nuclear plant that went into decommissioning has emerged from decommissioning back into operation status and has now received new fuel for its restart.
Kolb says securing a fuel vendor was a major step forward, one that took months of preparation behind the scenes. Following the Nuclear Regulatory Commission authorization in August, 68 fuel assemblies are now on site and stored securely.
Each fuel assembly is made up of a bundle of rods that are approximately 12 foot long. Each rod contains several hundred fuel pellets that are roughly the size of the tip of your pinky or a pencil eraser. Each pellet has the energy potential of 1 ton of coal.
Kolb says while the delivery is a key achievement, there's still plenty of work left before the reactor can operate again. Crews are reassembling the main turbine generator after extensive inspection and testing. About 2,000 people are now on site, including 600 full-time staff. There's no restart date specifically set as of yet, but the project remains on track, officials say, to start later this year. Benton Harbor City Commissioners are hearing opposition to a plan to relocate the area's homeless population from City Center Park to Pipestone Street. City Manager Alex Little floated the idea of setting up a small structure with basic amenities at the city-owned site after business owners raised concerns about gatherings that were happening at the park.
We know that some of our homeless citizens have substance abuse problems, and so that creates a problem on several fronts.
Pastor Andre Palmer told commissioners the proposed location, however, is not suitable because it's near several churches and a liquor store. Dr. Don Tynes, who has an office nearby, also criticized the plan, saying it would amount to gentrification given the site's proximity to the city's MLK monument.
You put down a Martin Luther King, but Martin Luther King was there for the homeless and the least of these, and now you're saying that the least of these cannot sit by Martin Luther King or gather around Martin Luther King.
Several residents spoke against the proposal, saying a better approach is needed. The item was not on Monday's agenda, but some commissioners later had alternative solutions and said they should be considered. The City of St. Joseph is holding a public workshop this week to bring more awareness to tax increment financing TIF plans and how they hope to use a TIF in the downtown area to spur redevelopment. State law changed in 2023, allowing developers to recoup their investments, in part by collecting some of the property tax increase resulting from development. The city's development director, Kelly Ewald, says The event will clarify what using a TIF means for a city and how St. Joe can plan to carve out a portion dedicated to downtown development.
Basically what that does is it sets a baseline tax rate in the downtown district. So whatever it is for 2025, that will be set as the baseline. As new developments or improvements in the downtown area come in, that incremental growth in the tax base will be recaptured by the DDA to be reinvested in that district.
Ewald says TIFs don't create new taxes, but capture increases in property tax revenue over time to fund improvements within a district. She'll be joined by Cornerstone Alliance's Andrew Hahn for the open house. It's happening at City Hall Wednesday from 4 to 6 p.m. That's a look at some of the local news that we're covering in the WSJM newsroom this morning. We've got more coming up in just a few moments. We have sports from our friends at Michigan News Network, and we're going to begin our conversation right now, actually, both here on the radio and on the video live stream with Dennis Szymanski, president of the Berrien County Woodworkers Guild. Should I say Dr. Szymanski? I probably should.
Oh,
good morning,
Dennis
Dr.
is
Szymanski.
fine. I'm a humble man, humble background.
As we love to do with all of our guests, I know you're here to talk about the Berrien County Woodworkers Guild, but as we do with our guests, we love to learn a little bit more about the people. And so why don't you give us, if you would, your origin story? I'll ask you more questions along the way, but give us the basic. We started talking about it on the video live stream. Who is Dennis Szymanski?
Well, again, I'm a product of an inner city Detroit Polish immigrant family. My dad had an 8th grade education. Mom was a waitress in a restaurant. And they instilled in all of us the need for a greater education. It was very important to them that we not continue along their same lines. My brother Jerry got his PhD from University of Michigan. My sister Arlene is a registered nurse. As I went to college, I then went to a PhD program in molecular biology and said, oh, gee, as doing that, I don't like working with fruit flies and rats. I got to do something more than that. And went to medical school, finished at Wayne State in Detroit, got my MD degree from there. I then went to Henry Ford Hospital in Detroit and finished a residency program in neurologic surgery, which I love to do that. During all that time, I was the last of the drafted physician for Vietnam, spent 2 years in the Army as a physician. And then time went on and I moved to Kansas City, where I chaired the Department of Neurosurgery at the University of Missouri. And then after time, I got fed up with academia, started looking for a place to practice again and raise my kids. And the recruiter says, oh, come to St. Joseph. No. And finally, after 5 visits here, I said, this is the place I want to be.
They were courting you, and somehow you finagled 5 visits to come here. Nice. All during the summertime?
No, it's throughout the year.
Oh, okay. All
Yes.
right. So you knew what you were getting into.
And so I love the community. I love the hospital and the area. 2-3 traffic lights only. I didn't have to wait and do an hour drive every day to get to the hospital.
Yeah.
I didn't have 3 clinics to go to driving around town. I said 1 hospital, 1 emergency room, 1 office. That's it.
Yeah.
Here I've been very happy with that for sure.
Outstanding. And so thank you for sharing that. We appreciate it. We're going to talk more with Dr. Dennis Szymanski here about his background and about the Berrien County Woodworkers Guild. Give a plug, if you wouldn't mind, for the Woodworkers Guild. You've got a meeting coming up. Who's that for, and what happens at those meetings?
We meet on the 3rd Tuesday of every month. We meet at one of our fellow woodworkers' shop. If they're a home hobbyist, as most of them are, or we have many professional woodworkers that we meet there. Andrews University, their chairman of architecture and many of their professors are members of our group, so we meet there. We've met at Notre Dame in their architecture department numerous times.
Nice.
Same kind of way. We've gone as far north as the boat building up north in South Haven, Michigan.
Okay. Yeah.
And went to their wood shop, and we're going to be doing that again. This month, one of our members is hosting us, which is tonight.
Yeah.
And he'll be talking about making spoons and the various tools needed to do that by hand and how to sharpen them the same kind of way.
Wow. Okay. All right. And if you want more information about the Berrien County Woodworkers Guild, can I give out the website? Is that all
Yes,
right?
please do.
Okay. BerrienCountyWoodworkers.com. And I have to tell you, as a hobbyist, as a woodworker in training, I love this website because it gives you information and it gives you a lot of images. And we were talking about one of the woodworking magazines, Fine Woodworking. I really read it for just the pictures. Anyway, we'll come back. We'll continue talking with Dennis Szymanski here in just a moment about the Berrien County Woodworkers Guild and other things. It's all coming up right here on the WSJM Morning Show.
Sports.
Okay, we're still on the video live stream here. And every now and again, you're going to see me, Dr. Szymanski, staring at my computer and doing things like this. And it's not because I'm ignoring you. I'm moving commercials around to make sure that there's still stuff on the radio. I'm fascinated by your background. So growing up in Detroit must have been an experience. What was it like there? And have you what do you think of the evolution? I assume there's been an evolution. I've never lived in Detroit, but I assume there's been an evolution from the time that you were there to what it is now.
Like so many things in life, it's been a changing, moving target.
Yeah.
When I grew up, our population in Detroit was 1.5 to 1.8 million people in the city proper. Now they're down to less than 800,000. At the time, in the 50s and 60s, they were a very strong sports community. Detroit Red Wings, Detroit Lions. We didn't have the Pistons at the time. And Detroit Tigers were all winners, and they were a wonderful place to watch various sports. I was a Boy Scout, and we were able to be ushers at Detroit Tiger Stadium all the time.
Wow.
So it took 3 buses to get to there, to get to the stadium in uniform. And ushered. We earned a few pennies at that time and got some choice seats because after a few innings, they didn't need our services any longer.
Yeah.
So we went to behind the plate and had luxury seats then to watch the game. It
How
was
wonderful. Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. And the city itself has been going through, I guess you could call it a resurgence.
So much has changed towards the better. We were just there recently. The Detroit Institute of Art is a premier art institute. The Belle Isle has so many amenities there. The aquarium just recently reopened again, and it's wonderful. It's beautiful. And these are all world-class places to go to now in Detroit. And the Ford Motor Company bought the Michigan Central Terminal, which is an iconic railroad terminal that closed decades ago.
Yeah.
And now it's open, refurbished, and it's a wonderful facility to tour and look through and go and visit.
Did I hear right that Amtrak is going to run some stops there?
Yes, that's what the talk has been, which would really be another great thing to have a stop there.
Yeah.
Because the only stop in Detroit, there's one in Dearborn also, but it's just another needed thing as ridership has increased in Amtrak, which is a great thing.
Yeah, if they can keep the trains on time, I'm a fan. One of my sons, he goes to school in Ithaca, and he tried to take the Amtrak. Or he did take the Amtrak back after I persuaded him to do so. Unfortunately, during that particular ride, he was stopped for 8 or 9 hours because there was a fire near the tracks. You know, things happen. I don't know.
2 of my kids went to University of Michigan for their undergraduate degrees.
Yeah.
And the beauty of it, living locally, is that there were plenty of people going to and from, but if there was a transportation problem, taking the train from Niles to and from, such a convenience. Again, the same kind of way.
Yeah, love that. Love that. One of the last physicians drafted for Vietnam.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it came on all of a sudden. Richard Milhouse Nixon says, we want you now. And they said, don't make any changes yet, but we'll give you adequate notice, which didn't happen. Initially, it was going to be a Vietnam tour. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm really worried about that with all that's happened there. And then next they said, you're going to be going to Turkey. Well, okay, fine. Unaccompanied tour. I was married at the time.
Yeah.
And then finally I ended up at Fort Sill, Oklahoma.
Oh, okay.
Indian Territory.
Oh,
where
wow.
My son, the oldest, was born. So he's an Okie.
So instead of going to Vietnam, instead of going to Turkey, they sent you to Oklahoma.
Yes. Spent 2 years there at Reynolds Army Hospital. The military sent me to Walter Reed a number of times. And this is, again, Vietnam era is one of the worst days in my life as I returned from Walter Reed in uniform, going through Dallas Airport. And I was spit upon and derided because it was the military at the time. It was the era of hell no, we won't go, and all kinds of things happening. And the military were just killers. I'm not a killer. I'm taking care of people.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it was a terrible way when I returned home from Walter Reed, the mecca of medicine in the Army.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your service. We appreciate what you were willing to sacrifice.
I was proud to be a member of our armed forces.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. We're talking with Dr. Dennis Szymanski. We've got to get back to our conversation about the Berrien County Woodworkers Guild. And so you've been a member since, did you say 2005?
I think about that
About
time.
2005?
Yes. Correct.
How would you describe your woodworking skills?
I would say I'm advanced. I'm not an expert.
Yeah.
But we learn so much from each other, and you learn so much by reading. You mentioned Fine Woodworking, probably the premier woodworking magazine.
Yeah.
It was all sponsored by Taunton Press.
Yeah.
And they also came out with Fine Home Building and Fine Cooking. I love to do all the above.
Yeah.
And so I was original subscriber of all the above, again, the same kind of way. And so reading it, looking at the images, learning how to do things, there's more ways to skin a cat. And that's the beauty of woodworking. There's many ways to do things.
Yeah. No, that's great. Okay, we're going to talk some more about that with Dr. Dennis Szymanski, president of the Berrien County Woodworkers Guild. This conversation available on our video live stream. You can archive it, share it with friends. We'll be right back.
Cloudy with scattered rain showers this afternoon, breezy and cool with high temperatures at 57. Tonight will stay cloudy with rain showers overnight. We drop down to 44. And then for Wednesday, cloudy with lake effect rain showers ongoing, high temperatures only at 50. We'll continue with the lake effect rain on Thursday as well with highs near 50. I'm meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Ken Lundberg on WSJM.
It's the WSJM Morning Show. Good morning. I'm Ken Lundberg, and we have a special guest in studio this morning, Dr. Dennis Szymanski, president of the Berrien County Woodworkers Guild. And so far, we've talked about just about everything other than woodworking. So my apologies for that. But it's great. I mean, you have a very fascinating background, and thank you for sharing your information and your stories with us. We'll continue prying if you don't mind, but we should probably address the Berrien County Woodworkers Guild. A few weeks ago, you reached out and said, hey, I hear you, Ken, talking on the air about your hobbies, loud hobbies. And I've got the hearing protection devices from Professional Hearing Services. They're fantastic. I'll tell you more about that. But one of the things that you get with woodworking, at least I get, is a lot of noise. I mean, whether it's a table saw or a power planer or a joiner, any of those things, that your air collector, your dust collector, the air cleaner, there's a lot of noise that goes on with that stuff. But you use hearing protection all the time.
Absolutely. I think personal safety is so important in woodworking.
Eyes and ears.
The ears for sure. I use a device that has noise suppression, about 29 decibels, and that's the most that we can get nowadays.
Okay.
I don't use the hearing suppression type because there's background music many times, and that's a distraction.
Yeah.
In doing woodworking, working around dangerous machines, it takes full attention. You have to have your full attention on it and not thinking about other things, not listening to music and doing whatever you want to do with music when you go along with it. And then eye protection. We've only got one set of eyes, and they got to be protected. And then the most important thing is nasal and breathing protection.
Good point.
I use a double mask all the time, have done that for years. It turns out woodworkers have the highest rate of what we call nasopharyngeal carcinoma,
Huh.
cancer at the back of the throat, the cancer at the back of the nose, and then chronic lung disease again the same way. Yes, we use air scrubbers and yes, we use dust collection devices, but those aren't going to kill you. It's the fine things of 2, 3, 5 microns that are in the air all the time.
Yeah.
And you have to protect yourself from that. You
When-
have to.
When you say a double mask, what is that?
There are all kinds of masks you can buy, whether the
The N95 thing or the
N95 for
yeah.
sure. Every woodworking site has masks that are for sale. Some are washable.
Yeah.
Some of them are not that protective to the small microns.
Mm.
So I like double protection. If a little is good, a lot is better.
We're talking with Dr. Dennis Szymanski, president of the Berrien County Woodworkers Guild. What is the history? Tell us a little bit more about the Berrien County Woodworkers Guild.
Back in 1995, a group of woodworkers here in the county, not just locally, decided to have a meeting, decided to get together to talk about what they're doing. And as it is now, as it was then, it was hobbyists as well as professional woodworkers. Men at the time were doing that on a daily basis, making sawdust. And they met and continued to meet regularly. And the population of woodworkers grew because this was in the 90s where it still was popular in doing things. And there are ups and downs in woodworking. And it grew. And currently we have between 35 and 45 members.
Okay.
Around 25 members show up at a meeting. Members bring friends and they learn about us through friends and see what we do and become interested in it. Sometimes it's very intimidating to some people who are very unexperienced in woodworking, not quite sure about it, and they see all that's being done by people of similar interest, and so they learn by experience then. And so it's a great bunch of guys and gals, and we have a number of ladies who are part of working with us again the same way. And woodworkers are friendly people. They're willing to share their experiences. They're willing to share their downfalls and what happened and how bad something turned out, or show something that really isn't of excellent quality and the joinery is poor, the finish is poor, but they present it, get critiqued by other people, all in a very constructive way, not destructive.
Yeah.
And so that's the beauty of the organization and people who are members.
And it sounds like that goes well to your mission of the guild, which is to help build up the community.
Yes, it is. And we're always looking for members to join us. We're looking more for young'uns, which we don't have, but we do have some. Shop class is something just coming back nationwide. And that's really too bad that shop classes were dropped nationwide, whether it was woodworking or automotive repair or welding.
Yeah.
Those are necessary skills. Not everyone needs to go to college.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that they're spending the dollars in the educational system to be able to do that again and get kids back to do trades, because we need tradespeople for sure.
Yeah. AI can't do trades.
No.
Yeah. Not yet. Nails, pro or con?
Well, fingernails we need all the time. but
Good
nails
answer.
are part of joinery. And as I look at things like right now, I'm in the process of making a bedroom dresser.
Okay.
And I saw some plans for it, ordered it. And so many of the joinery is by screws. And I says, no, I'm a woodworker and we're judged by our woodworking by our peers.
Yeah.
And when you've got screws in them, they're just kind of thumb their noses at it. It's a good way to do it. It's a fast way to do it. But when you gain skills to do mortise and tenon joinery or half lap joinery or various joints that we can do, it's a skill, it's a process, it's so satisfying.
Yeah. Agree. All right. We're talking with Dr. Dennis Szymanski, president of the Berrien County Woodworkers Guild. If you want more information about joining the Berrien County Woodworkers Guild or just exploring to see what they have to offer and look at the images of local woodworkers and what they're producing, take a look on their website. It's berriencountywoodworkers.com. BloombergFinancial.com. Back with more of this interview. We'll continue on the video live stream here on the radio. We've got to get to our Bloomberg Financial Minute. A couple of messages before that. This is the WSJM Morning Show.
Hi, this is Brian Lears.
All right, staying on the video live stream. How are we doing? Is this good?
Oh, yes.
Is this all right?
To be here, for
okay.
sure.
No, thank you for being here. This is great. And I asked the question about the nails because I fell in love with the new Yankee Workshop, right? With Norm Abrams.
Yes.
And I honestly can't remember if I ever saw him using a screw. Maybe my memory has faded a little bit, but whenever I did woodworking projects, I wanted to do the joinery. I didn't want to use screws. I didn't want to use nails. I felt like, oh, I don't need to. All I need is a good, tight, well-fit joint, maybe some wood glue, and we'll go from there.
Absolutely, for sure. And Norm wrote 3 books, and they're quality books on woodworking when you look at them and the various things that he's made, and show you how to make them with excellent blueprints, if you will,
Yes.
about the wood and the construction and about how you do it. It's a great learning experience for sure.
Did you get any of his blueprints?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes, for sure.
Mine, I know I bought several, maybe 3 or 4 different, and I still have them today. One of them was for the chimney cupboard, and that was a lot of fun to make. Made it out of black walnut, joined it all together. I think at some point it leaned a little bit, but it still looked very nice. Yeah, at least in my opinion. And it had the nice inset panels and that kind of thing. So.
Yeah, and we are our worst critiquer. We do things, we want it to be perfection.
Yeah.
And we make mistakes. We learn by our mistakes for sure.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of woodworking. If we make mistakes, it goes in the fireplace or it goes in the fire pit. So start over again.
Wait, so you said that you're working on a dresser right now. What
Yes.
kind of dresser, and how long do you think it's going to take?
I'm in the planning stages right now, trying to get wood that I want to have.
Yeah.
It's a 3-drawer dresser. Probably it's going to be about 34 inches tall, 45 inches wide, 22 inches deep, 3 drawers. And what I want to do is make the false drawer front out of either quilted or some kind of maple.
Yeah.
I was attracted by a picture that I saw, like so many things. You look at a picture, says, oh, I can do that, or I can make it better.
Yeah.
And trying to find the correct wood. And we've got 2 good sources driving time from here for wood. I mean, the big box stores have some good quality wood, but if you're looking for something more exotic or other kinds of detailed wood, Johnson's Workbench in South Bend, their mother house is in Charlotte, is even a bigger and better place.
Yeah.
But as a woodworking guild member, we get discounts from various people, and Johnson's gives us discounts on purchases.
No
there.
kidding. That's great.
The second place is Woodcraft. They're up in Grand Rapids. They're a nationwide woodworking store.
Okay.
And that's a good source of information. Both places I just mentioned are staffed by experienced people, and that's the beauty of it. You go in there and someone can tell you about what you're doing and how you do it, and experiences from them to do things better many a time. So that's just the great thing about sharing ideas and sharing thoughts and experiences.
Yeah.
Same kind of way.
Yeah. I was tickled to find out that Johnson's Woodbench, right?
Yes, Workbench. Correct.
Workbench, Johnson's Workbench. I was tickled to find out that was their small wood shop, because I took my wife Stephanie there, and we took a look at the wood because we're thinking about a built-in shelf project, and I was astounded by how much cured, ready to go wood they had. It's very inspiring.
It is, and like so many places, they do offer some. They don't do hands-on experience, but they do offer classes from time to time, just as Woodcraft does also in Grand Rapids.
Yeah. One moment. Sorry about that. We got to get back on the radio here. It's the WSJM Morning Show. Good morning. I'm Ken Lundberg. Sorry, we got carried away talking about woodworking and where to get wood supplies and that kind of stuff. We're talking with Dennis Szymanski. He's the president of the Berrien County Woodworkers Guild. Again, for more information, you can visit their website, berriencountywoodworkers.com. And they have a monthly meeting, and your next meeting is this evening.
Yes.
And the meeting time and location is listed there on the website. We'll talk about it more on the video live stream here in just a moment. First off, a quick check of the weather forecast for today. If you're interested, it's going to be raining this afternoon, at least a 60% chance of showers this afternoon. Breezy conditions are going to persist today. Winds out of the west gusting to 30 miles per hour, otherwise about 10 to 20 miles per hour. Churning up the lake, very good, and a high around 57 degrees. Tonight's forecast, cloudy skies, a 70% chance of showers, breezy, low around 44, and then Wednesday's forecast, partly sunny, a 40% chance of lake effect rain showers. We'll keep that chance of lake effect rain into Thursday as well. We've got the latest world and national news now from ABC.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. The federal government shutdown now entering week number 4. Among the latest casualties, about 1,400 employees at the National Nuclear Security Administration, the folks who oversee nuclear safety across the country. Energy Secretary Chris Wright saying,
"It is our national security. These are jobs of great gravity. We need to maintain our nuclear stockpile, have our adversaries confident that we have our stuff together. We have it secure and ready to deploy at a moment's notice."
He insists the furloughs are not a threat to national security. Vice President J.D. Vance and his wife are in Israel trying to shore up the shaky ceasefire in Gaza. The construction has begun on the White House ballroom, an entire side of the East Wing demolished to make way for President Trump's 90,000 square foot space. The Louvre shut down again today, but it's always closed on Tuesdays. Detectives continuing to search for the thieves who made off with France's crown jewels. This is ABC News.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
7:36 WSJM Morning Show continues. I'm Ken Lundberg. Some of the local news stories that we have coming for you just after 8 o'clock. Emergency crews were kept busy overnight responding to a couple of house fires in Benton Charter Township. Crews were called out to one of them just after 11 o'clock last night. The 1300 block of Agard Street. Responders arrived to find a small one-story home heavily engulfed in flames. Firefighters say they brought the blaze under control in about 20 minutes. No injuries reported as part of that. Then early this morning, crews responding to a house fire in the 2000 block of Orchard Street. They provided aid there. They arrived just after 3 a.m. to find flames coming from a one-story home. Again, no injuries reported there either. Other news, the Berrien County Sheriff's Office is warning residents about a new phone scam targeting local residents. It sounds very legit. It definitely is not, because they start talking about payment protection program loan review hearings. They want all your personal information. Don't give it to them. Hang up. We'll tell you more about that story coming out after 8 o'clock. Also, the November elections about 2 weeks away. Berrien County voters will decide several major local issues, some millages, some bonds, some other questions. We'll tell you what is coming up. That's in a few moments during the 8 o'clock news as well. It's 7:38. We're continuing our conversation with Dennis Szymanski, Dr. Dennis Szymanski. He's the president of the Berrien County Woodworkers Guild. That conversation continues now on the video live stream.
The Michigan.
Okay. Back at it. All right, so I'm looking at eye candy here because I'm on the Berrien County Woodworkers Guild website, and your September 2025 gallery, just an example of some of the things that are posted there right now. Dining room chairs, charcuterie board, Pantheon medicine cabinet, hand-carved and assembled by John DeLappa.
Yes, a very experienced woodworker and carver.
Wow, that is beautiful.
It is.
I'm looking at that. Then there's something called an emerging bowl. What is an emerging bowl? Is that all one piece of wood right there?
I'm sorry, I don't remember.
Oh, okay. Sorry, emerging bowl. Here, I'll show you what I'm looking at. There's an emerging bowl. I'm curious, is that just carved out of one piece of wood, or is that a bowl sitting on another piece of wood?
No, it is one piece of wood. Jim Woodfin, who is a most experienced woodworker, professional woodworker at Great Lakes Staircase in Bridgman, did that.
Wow.
But his experience in wood turning, that he's self-taught, like so many things in woodworking,
Yeah.
self-taught, and does some exquisite turnings.
That is really, it's very pretty.
Yes.
And is that spalted maple?
It is.
Okay. That's pretty. So do you buy most of your wood from someone who's already harvested, cut it, cured it?
buy it. Woodworkers donate to each other, again, the same way. Right now, the last year or so, I've done more wood turning. And so getting trees that were felled, cutting them down, or getting someone else to do that for you,
Yeah.
and then aging it again the same kind of way. So it's people are always looking for sources of wood.
Yeah.
I got rid of a number of woodworking equipment as I changed my shop when we moved. We downsized.
Yeah.
And I was able to barter with someone, and I got some beautiful pieces of walnut for a router table from someone, for instance.
Nice. Nice. Table saw. Are you familiar with the saw stop? You must be.
Absolutely, for sure. Safety, again, is the most important thing in woodworking. And saw stop, if you don't, go to a website to look at saw stop, and you'll see as they feed a hot dog into the blade, and with 1/500th of a second, there's just a little nick in the skin of the hot dog.
Yeah.
So it saved fingers. No longer do we have 9 fingers Sam or 8 fingers Billy or something. Every wood shop in high school and college in this country has a saw stop.
Yeah.
And it came about, and they've got the patent on it. Ryobi tried to enter the market 5 to 7 years ago.
Okay.
And the ongoing litigation has prevented them from getting it on the market. So there's no competition whatsoever.
Wow.
It's a great device.
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
different types.
For those who aren't familiar with it, when you're woodworking, one of your primary tools is often a table saw. And table saws are essentially, it's a table and it's got a big old saw blade that comes right out of the top of it. And you're moving the wood through the saw, hopefully in a nice, safe way. But if you for some reason, if the wood moves or if there's kickback or something like that, your finger might get toward that saw. And if it gets toward the saw too close, makes connection, then you're probably, like you said, your 9-finger Sam or something like that. But saw stop, a 1/500th of a second, that technology is incredible.
Yes, yes. I must say something, Ken, just watching you describing it, you were using both hands pushing a piece of wood through, which is very improper.
Yes. Sorry.
You want to keep your hand less than 6 inches. It should not be less than 6 inches from the blade.
Yeah.
You should have a device to push the wood through.
Yeah.
You stand if you're feeding it to the right with the fence on the right, you stand to the left of the blade because kickback it can really be damaging. I've seen it happen. A piece of board was kicked back. It flew and made a hole in the sheetrock behind me, 10, 12 feet or so. It's that strong for that to happen.
Yeah.
When you watch contractors with their saw, they have no blade guards of any kind. Many times they don't even use a fence. They just follow a cut line. That is so dangerous.
Yeah.
Do not do that for sure. Don't follow contractors. Do it properly.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. So when you're never get within 6 inches of the blade and the push on the right, but you're standing to the left. See, that feels counterintuitive because I've got an arch of a body part over the blade at some point.
I hear what you're saying, but again, in your right hand, if you do with your fence to the right of the blade, you should have a push stick of some kind or some device, or you put your hand over your fence with your little finger or pinky holding on to the fence.
Absolutely.
As you're pushing through.
Yeah.
But safety is so important.
Yeah, very much so. But the saw stop, it isn't cheap because when a blade detects skin and stops, it does a break on the saw blade, stops it immediately, and then that blade is gone. The blade's gone, the brake's gone. You've got to get a new assembly put into the saw. But you've got a finger.
And 2 other things can do it. If you have a nail that is in a piece of wood, the metal will interact with the device and it'll stop it. Or if the wood is wet, you can't cut wet wood, and you can turn off the safety feature. But when it does go off, the brake, you lose the blade.
Yeah.
And the blade can be $150.
Yeah.
The brake is another $85.
Yeah.
So it's very expensive. But a visit to the emergency room, that's a lot more expensive than that.
Yeah, you haven't even made your deductible then, probably.
That's right.
All right, 7:45 WSJM Morning Show back in just a moment.
Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
I accidentally put my hand in the line of the blade here. It was just imaginary, but I got schooled on safety. So thank you for that. I do appreciate that.
Sure.
One of my favorite stories, and I think my neighbor at the time would agree with this. One of my favorite stories. I was doing woodworking out of a very small garage in Washington D.C., and our alley was configured so that everyone could see into each other's alley. My neighbor was walking by, Joe. Joe was walking by. And he said, "Oh, you got a pretty nice setup there. I really like your setup, blah, blah, blah." And I said, "Well, thank you very much. Are you into woodworking?" I asked him. And Joe, he holds up his hand, and he's got a thumb and a pinky. And he said, "Yeah, of course. That's how I did this." And it was in high school shop, a planer.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. So,
Oh, my gosh.
yeah, but he was fine about it because it had been years since then. So you mentioned that woodworking ebbs and flows, and the hobby itself or the profession itself, how many amateurs get involved into it. Where are we right now? Are we on a peak? Are we on a valley?
It looks like we're on the way up. There are more wood shops in high school nowadays that
Yeah.
are opening up again.
Why the drop off?
The emphasis was on college education. Everyone must get a college education. And we learned the hard way, as we know locally, we don't have enough of
We can say doers.
HVAC people. We
Yeah.
don't have enough of
Yeah, trades.
plumbers, tradespeople, for
Yeah.
sure. We need them. The average age, they say, is around 55 to 58.
Yeah, aging out.
And so now I've got a friend whose son is learning elevator operators as an electrician. And he goes to a school in Indiana. He's paid $35 an hour during the same time as he's just learning the trade. He's given a vehicle to travel from site to site. And it's a wonderful experience for him. He's got no debt behind him whatsoever compared to his peers who are heavily in debt from college.
Yeah. Yeah. We're talking with Dr. Dennis Szymanski. He's the president of the Berrien County Woodworkers Guild. And again, if you want more information about the Woodworkers Guild, how to get involved, what they do, what they stand for, what you might learn from them, or maybe you can impart some knowledge as well, go to their website, BerrienCountyWoodworkers.com. Let's make this part of our Moody on the Market update this morning. It's brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today. They are your local auto owners insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. We talk about business updates during the Moody on the Market update. We talk about life in Southwest Michigan and why we love it here, and interesting people you should know. I know you fill at least a couple of buckets there, and we can throw business updates in there as well because you have both amateur and professionals as part of this woodworking guild. I love it.
Yes, yes.
Love it.
That's the beauty of the organization, being able to learn from others.
Yeah. All right. So we'll continue this conversation. Again, it's part of our Moody on the Market update brought to you by IMS. We'll continue the conversation on our video live stream. We'll come back to the radio here in just a moment and talking with Dennis Szymanski, president of the Berrien County Woodworkers Guild.
Rich Fran and Tara.
What do you do, Dr. Szymanski, when you are not woodworking?
Well, I've been involved in a number of things. Well, just at home, I love to cook. My wife does too, and she's an excellent cook.
Yeah.
And I'm still learning.
What kind of cooking do you appreciate?
All type. I'm very eclectic about it for sure.
Yeah.
So whether I try to limit the amount of red meat that we eat on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So whether it's seafood or pasta or vegetarian kind of diets.
Yeah.
The other thing I'm much involved with is I volunteer at an organization called CRC, Cycle Recycle, just down the road here on Napier. We want to keep bicycles out of the landfill.
Yeah.
We teach bicycle repair, bicycle safety. I'm a bike repair technician there and involved with education. And we're open only 2 days a week. We have all volunteers there. It's a 501c3 organization.
Okay.
I've been involved with 4 committees at the hospital. Even though I'm retired from the practice of medicine, I still involved with the medical community. Tonight, I got a meeting at 5:30. I'm on the Healthcare Advisory Board of Lake Michigan College. We're having a meeting tonight, which I'm part of that organization the same way. Was heavily involved with the Heritage Museum and Cultural Center.
Yes.
Was their president twice, and was involved in the amalgamation as we partnered with Curious Kids Museum, which led to the demise truly of the organization. But things may happen come the future in a much different way for sure, unfortunately. But it was a hallmark in our community for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And where is all that history that was part of the center?
They've since got
The
some,
physical items, I should say. So-
yes, the building itself was bought by Curious
Yes.
Kids, and they're turning it into another premier site for them. The archives, much was given away or sold and are now in storage in some facility. I've been less involved once the amalgamation came through, so I can't give you accurate information right now
Okay.
about it.
Okay. You stay very busy.
I try to. That's the beauty of life, of giving back to the community. I was taught that from my parents, and I carried on, and my kids do the same thing too.
Yeah, that's great. We're talking with Dr. Dennis Szymanski, president of the Berrien County Woodworkers Guild. You make toys. The Woodworkers Guild makes toys every year. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, the Readiness Center in Benton Harbor has been around for decades, founded by a lady named Sister Paulita, who since retired and moved to the Mother House in Chicago area. Martha Thieneman now is the current executive director. And I won't give you more details about the Readiness Center, but mom and child are combined in an organization there. And so the kids get gifts for Christmas, which we make and have made every year. And in fact, the meeting tonight will be talking about it as we make plans for our donation in Christmas time from our guild to the Readiness Center.
Okay. Well, I'll ask you about that to reiterate that here on the radio in just a moment. Again, we're talking with Dr. Dennis Szymanski, president of the Berrien County Woodworkers Guild. They're meeting their next meeting. It's monthly, and it's tonight, Tuesday, October 21st at 7 p.m. And if you need the address and the location of the shop, you can find it on their website, berriencountywoodworkers.com. I'm sure they'd love to see you there. We'll come back and finish this up in just a moment. It's the WSJM Morning Show.
At Moody Studios, this is WSJM FM Benton Harbor, St. Joseph, a product of Midwest Family Marketing and Media. Proudly serving our community. The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
7:52. It's the WSJM Morning Show. No, this is where I interview you. This is Dr. Dennis Szymanski is our guest this morning. We're interviewing him, talking about himself, his life, which is fascinating to me. I'm sure there's a lot of untold stories that we probably should have you back for. But also, he's the president of the Berrien County Woodworkers Guild. One of the many things he does to give back to the community. So we thank you for that. Again, the Berrien County Woodworkers Guild is meeting tonight at 7 p.m. and they would love to have you there if you're interested in woodworking, or if you'd like to perhaps see what it's all about. Go to their website, berriencountywoodworkers.com. And once again, tell us about the Readiness Center and your annual give back to them. What is it again?
Well, the Readiness Center is in Benton Harbor, the old St. John's School, and mother and child are in a daily program. I don't know what numbers that we're talking about, but it's been around for decades.
Yeah.
And the kids learn a lot. Many of them have returned to the community. Many of the kids have grown up and got education, returned to the community, are making use of their education the same way. So, and the kids are various ages from infancy to preschool. And so we make toys for them at Christmas time.
That's nice.
And I'll be calling Martha to say, hey, what do we need to do this year to help you? She'll give us some ideas again.
What kind of toys do you typically turn out for them?
We've made some pull toys. We made some spinning tops. We've made names to put above their bed with their name engraved in it. and the list goes on of things that we made that the kids really enjoy.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. It's the Berrien County Woodworkers Guild. We're talking with Dr. Dennis Szymanski. How does somebody get involved if they're interested in woodworking? They like the idea of it, or at least want to try it out. Where do you recommend they begin?
Well, a good source again is another woodworker for sure. Another source is our guild, for instance, the same way. There's so many magazines that talk about things to do and to make of various skill level. Fine woodworking, you mentioned earlier, the same way.
Yeah.
Popular woodworking. Better Homes and Gardens has a good magazine called Wood, and they've been around for decades.
Okay.
Give good plans, good instructions. They say which level of woodworking to do, whatever the project may be. And it's finely detailed, good pictures, good photography, good instructions.
Yeah, very good. If you're interested at all, just check it out. The website is berriencountywoodworkers.com. How do experienced woodworkers mentor new members at the Guild?
Well, just by showing up, by critiquing things the same kind of way. Another thing I forgot to mention, Ken, is that because of our Guild members, the St. Joe Senior Center on Lincoln has a outstanding wood shop. We were involved in the planning, the execution, the construction of it, and they've got a wood shop to match any professional wood shop, again, the same way. And there's a good learning experience for those who go there. There are many mentors on a daily basis who are all volunteers.
Yeah.
Since I have my own professional shop, I've not spent any time at that shop. I just helped get it going, again, the same kind of way. But it's a premier wood shop in the area too.
That's fantastic. What if anything does the Guild need from the community?
Just to spread the word, to say we're around and we can help you. As part of the organization, we have discounts at local Ace Hardware, True Value Hardware, Home Decor, downtown Benton Harbor, and a very excellent site called Klingspor out of North Carolina. You go to their website, and I've been to their shop many times when I visit my daughter in North Carolina. So we get discounts like we did from Johnson's Workbench, again, the same kind of way.
Yeah. All right. Tips for a burgeoning person who wants to get into lathe work, wood turning. Because when Dr. Szymanski called and reached out, the first thing I said was, "Great to hear from you. Tell me a little bit more about where to get lathe tools." Because I was showing my son Samuel how to do woodworking on a lathe, and my tools are pretty inferior because I haven't done a lot of lathe working, a lot of wood turning, but it's pretty fascinating. So where are my resources? Again, are you looking online? Are you looking at magazines? Are you talking to people?
Well, all of the above. Plus, I forgot to mention, I'm a member of the Michiana Wood Turners.
Oh, you've got another organization.
Another organization, about 65
When do you find time to
members.
sleep? Do you sleep? No. So that organization, where is that based out of, and how can people get involved there or learn more?
They meet at members shop, but and we used to meet here in Berrien County on a regular basis.
Yeah.
People moved away, people died. And right now we meet at Trimador shop in Mishawaka. We meet on the second Tuesday of every month. And it's, again, an organization of various skill levels in wood turning. And it's a wonderful organization. And they have a raffle every month that you put in $1 and you can win bowl blanks or pieces of wood or other devices that are available for members at that particular meeting.
That's great. Well, thank you for sharing the information that you've shared this morning. We appreciate you bringing light to the Berrien County Woodworkers Guild and a whole lot of other things. Dr. Dennis Szymanski, president of the Berrien County Woodworkers Guild. Again, if you want more information, berriencountywoodworkers.com. As you heard, there are other resources out there for people who are interested in the hobby as well. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. It was a delight to be here and talk to you and to meet you in person.
Very good. Same. So thank you for coming in. We'll have you again. Let's do a quick check of the weather forecast, and then we'll have the latest world and national news from ABC. Today is going to be a little bit of a cloudy day, a little bit of a windy day, a 60% chance of showers mainly this afternoon. Breezy conditions throughout the day. We're going to have the wind stay out of the west, 10 to 20 miles per hour, gusting to 30 miles per hour. And a high today, even though it might not feel like it at times, we're supposed to get up to about 57 degrees. Tonight's forecast, cloudy skies, a 70% chance of showers, breezy conditions, and a low of 44. Good morning. It's 8 o'clock.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. The federal